Welcome to the Weekly Bat.
Welcome to the Weekly Bat, episode 67. New Crypto.com widget on the new tab page, Brave R&D, fighting CNAME Trickery, testers needed for Sync v2 in Brave for iOS. Kicking off the week with the new Crypto.com widget announcement. In case you haven't heard the good news, our latest desktop browser update, version 1.16.68, features the new Crypto.com widget on the new tab page, as well as various upgrades and fixes. Type brave:/help into the URL bar in Brave to update to version 1.16.68 now. Up next, Brave R&D releases What's Brave Done for My Privacy Lately, Episode 6, Fighting CNAME Trickery. This is the sixth in an ongoing regular series of blog posts describing new privacy-related features in Brave. This post describes work done by research engineer Anton Lazarev and senior privacy researcher Peter Snyder. Trackers are constantly working on new techniques for evading privacy tools and keep deploying new ways to evade privacy-protecting tools like the Brave browser. This post discusses a recent technique that trackers use, CNAME cloaking, and a new feature in Brave that keeps Brave users protected. Here's the TLDR. One way privacy tools like Brave prevent trackers from tracking you online is to use crowdsourced lists of privacy-harming domains and blocking requests to them. Trackers sometimes use canonical name DNS records, i.e. CNAMEs, a way of making one domain point to another, to make their tracking domains look like subdomains owned by the site you're visiting, when in truth, the domain is effectively controlled by an unrelated third party. This is now available in our nightly desktop version. With the upcoming Brave version 1.17, Brave Shield will roll out support for CNAME-based ad blocking to all Brave users. This enhanced ad blocking solution is able to counter the increasingly common practice of CNAME-cloaked tracking scripts. Next, testers needed. Sync v2 in Brave for iOS is now available for testing, and we need testers. The Sync v2 iOS beta builds are now available in the public beta channel, version 1.21, and should work with your existing sync chains using the release endpoint. Important: if you want to help test Sync v2 for iOS, please ensure that your desktop and Android bookmarks are backed up before getting started to avoid any data loss in case you encounter any unexpected behaviors. Please see the link in the blog post if you want to become a tester. Up next, scam warning. Ledger Live phishing attack. Please don't click. This was a notice posted on Reddit by our principal engineer, Marshall Rose. He writes, the subject line is, "Your Ledger assets may be at risk," and it goes to a site that appears to be a near-perfect copy of the Ledger download site. Do not download the file. Please ignore the email. Thank you. And in case you're wondering, the goal here is to get you to download and run malware on your desktop, not to mess with your hardware wallet. Up next, I'd like to share a happy Swag Store update. Since enabling the BAT and ETH payment options on the Brave Swag Store last month, crypto payments have made up over a quarter of total sales. We are so happy to see fans enjoying the new payment options, and we hope to be able to offer even more payment options in the future. Visit store.brave.com to shop official Bat and Brave tees, hoodies, jackets, joggers, tech accessories, home goods, and more. For a tutorial on how to make purchases on the Swag Store using Bat or ETH, we have a video about that on the Bat Community YouTube channel. On the topic of the Brave Swag Store, we have a Twitter poll going on right now where we are asking users if there was a Ledger wallet engraved with the Brave and Bat logo available on the Brave Swag Store, would you buy it? To participate in the poll, please see the link in the blog post, and please also leave any suggestions for other Bat or Brave products you'd like to see in the comments. Up next, a Brave fan who goes by the username web_o_net on Twitter recreates the Brave logo using only CSS and HTML and shares the process in a detailed blog post. Here's a little snippet from the blog post. Nowadays, CSS is considered the soul of web development. From styling a text to creating complex shapes with gradient, CSS can do almost anything. In this tutorial, we'll discuss a creative way to replicate the Brave browser's logo using plain CSS. This week in Sponsored Images. This week, Blancos, Rix, Admiral Markets, and Mythical join Brave's new tab page sponsored image rotation. This week also saw sponsored images from returning sponsors Ashley Furniture, Kudo, eToro, Upland, BlockFi, and BitPay. Our ever-expanding list of new tab page sponsors includes Verizon, PayPal, Intel, Newegg, Western Digital, The Home Depot, Chipotle, Khan Academy, and more. See our case studies page for more information about sponsored images and how they can help promote your business. Just go to brave.com/brave-ads/case studies, all one word. Client updates. This week, the Desktop Nightly channel graduated to version 1.18.22. The Desktop Dev channel progressed to version 1.17.56. The Desktop Beta channel progressed to version 1.17.54, and the Desktop Release channel graduated to version 1.16.68. Stay ahead of bugs and benefit from all of the latest updates and fixes by keeping your Brave browser updated to the latest version at all times. To update your Brave browser on desktop, just go to brave:/help. On mobile, if you don't receive updates automatically, you can manually update your Brave browser app from the Play or iOS app stores. Brave Creator Spotlight, in partnership with Everpedia. This week's featured creator is YouTuber Shannon Morse. As a kiddo, Shannon Morse was into theater and building computers. Today, she is an InfoSec educator and tech reviewer on YouTube, creating tutorials, reviews, and how-tos with an emphasis on digital security and privacy. Find links to Shannon's YouTube channel, Twitter account, and Everpedia article in the blog post. Bat and Brave in the news. This first piece is an op-ed by James Soldinger via Medium. Protecting users as we embark into the era of spatial computing. I got into user experience, or UX design, because I wanted to take what I knew about psychology and use it to create intuitive and engaging products. Over the last few years, I've learned that the field of UX necessitates an understanding of not only psychological principles, but ethical ones as well. One emerging technology that I've been exploring, spatial computing, demonstrates the need to protect users' privacy and data. In the book The Infinite Retina, the authors define spatial computing as technology that brings computing to every surface. This technology will rely heavily on artificial intelligence, or AI, and the three main drivers will be augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. As I've gone down this rabbit hole, learning as much as I can about the technology, I couldn't help but get excited. This technology, above all others, will feel the most human. As it is developed, we, the users, will literally be moving through the space that the computing is taking place in. Spatial computing will become our reality. Skipping ahead a bit in the article, if a company is going to monetize users' data, the user should be compensated. I think all companies should adopt the same model that Brave, a privacy-focused browser, has created. Users have the ability to opt in to see advertisements, and if they opt in, they are compensated for viewing ads with a currency called BAT. These tokens can be converted to a fiat currency or used to redeem gift cards. The ads are not invasive. Brave is performing some magic on the back end that presents users with relevant ads without capturing personal identifiers. If my attention is that valuable to you, pay me for it. News you should know. The Tatiana Show, episode 280, incentivizing the use of blockchain with Grant Blaisdell. Grant Blaisdell has been creating ventures at the intersection of new technologies and media between the US and Central Europe since his late teens. An early innovator in applying blockchain technology to various industries, companies Grant has co-founded include the leading blockchain analytics and AML company Confirm and the digital asset marketplace for the space industry, Copernic Space. As a lifelong musician and hip-hop artist known as GB Savant, Grant also applies his technological work to his music with upcoming projects such as Mr. Crypto. Find the link to that episode in the blog post. This next piece is by Camila Russo via CoinDesk. Ethereum is building the Internet of Value. Camila Russo is the founder of The Defiant, a content platform focusing on decentralized finance, and the author of The Infinite Machine, about the history of Ethereum. Previously, she was a Bloomberg news reporter covering markets in Buenos Aires, Madrid, and New York. The internet is at the cusp of entering a new phase. one where entrenched rules are dethroned. More power is reclaimed by individuals and value moves as freely as cat gifts. To understand why we need a better internet in the first place, consider this question. Isn't it weird the internet isn't good at money? Think about it. The applications we use every day to search, to communicate, even to shop. The companies that dominate the web are very bad at dealing with money, even if they're very good at making it. There's a separate checkout process where you repeatedly enter all of your information. Cards issued in some countries don't work on local websites in other countries. Sometimes you wait for what feels like an eternity watching that tiny wheel turn, just to have the transaction fail. That's a wrap for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you would like to read the full stories whose headlines we cover on the podcast, be sure to read the accompanying weekly BAT blog post. You can find that on batcommunity.org always, or if you're listening on YouTube, check the description box below the video for a link, and if you're listening on a podcast app or player, check the show notes.